Well, kia ora te whānau. Welcome to Bruce Pulman Park in South Auckland and Takanini for coverage of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Rugby League Championship for 2023. Great pleasure to be with you for day one of the action today, and our first match not too far away from starting. St Thomas of Canterbury up against Kelston Boys of Auckland. We have 8 teams in the boys' premiership this season. They've been split into 2 pools of 4 teams, and this is going to be a match in Pool B. The other 2 teams in Pool B are St Paul's, the Auckland champions, and Mount Albert Grammar. And in Pool A this year, De La Salle, the national champions from last year, Southern Cross, another Auckland team, Rotorua Boys and Manurewa High School. So those are the 8 teams that are going for the Premiership honours in the boys' competition. We're going to bring you 4 games today, 2 boys' matches, and then we're going to have 2 girls' matches, which we'll get to a little later as well. As you can see, conditions are glorious in Auckland today for this day one of the championship. It's going to be an extra special 2 or 3 days of rugby league as we take you through to the conclusion of this year's secondary schools championships on a Sunday. 38 teams here this year. That's almost double the number of teams that attended last year's championship. So wonderful to see big growth in the sport of rugby league for 2023, and it really is fantastic to see all these girls and boys going for it for national championship glory into 2023. So it's going to be Kelston Boys in the red and St Thomas in the darker strip from Christchurch, and their team is stacked with players that were here on this very ground for the District 9s back at Easter. And in Noah Harmer-Campbell, they do have one player that made last year's tournament team, so he is back for another crack in 2023. So 20-minute halves on the first 2 days in pool play as Kelston Boys get the game underway. And St Thomas of Canterbury, of course, a well-known rugby league school, the best for some seasons from Christchurch. And they always produce very good players, so we'll be looking forward to seeing how they go in this year's championships as Lennox Tuiloma plays the ball. It's good ruck speed. So 20-minute halves, only a 5-minute halftime break. All of these teams today will be playing twice to get through pool play. And now here's St Thomas. Good defence there from Kelston. They throw Fungi yet they're back. And there goes Noah Harmer-Campbell, number 9. And there goes the kick on the last play. It's good kick too. Not too much wind to speak of here as we see Tyson Parsons go back here for Kelston Boys. Elusive runner. And basically tackles himself. So he's on the 20. The Kelston Boys. Good first set here from St Thomas of Canterbury. It'll be very interesting to see who these 2 teams go over the next couple of days. Of course, national honours, national championships not only at stake here for all these players, but there's New Zealand clubs 18s are going to play New Zealand schools 18s, and I know there are a whole bunch of selectors floating around watching all the games here over the next 3 days as they narrow those 2 teams down for what will be the annual clash on Labour weekend. And there's going to be a penalty. The penalty's going to go against St Thomas of Canterbury right near the end of the set. Tuiloma it was. You can just see a bit of a lift there. In fact, it wasn't Tuiloma, it was one of his teammates, so that is going to provide Kelston Boys the opportunity to move into the 20 and really put pressure here on St Thomas's goal line. Let's see if the Kelston Boys side, who have produced several good players in rugby league the last few years, have also had a very good first 15 as well. So there should be some good athletes. Of course, they won the first 15 Auckland Championship in 2022. And here comes Kelston Boys. And that's been lost, unfortunately, there by Panapa. Caleb Panapa, and away comes St Thomas. So Kelston will be a little disappointed. They didn't really take full advantage, and check the speed out here. What a run here from Colondale from St Thomas. Fantastic for speed off the mark there. First clean break of the game, and now Mahana Pauling, an experienced representative player, played for the South Island Scorpions 16s, and now moving through to the 18s. And now here comes Lennox Tuiloma. So they're inside the 20, and Harmer Campbell waits at dummy half. And that's Salalilo. And Salalilo drives forward and scores the try. Excellent score there for Jason Salalilo. And he goes over. Does the prop. Very good play from Jason Salalilo. Can play in the centres too. He's a New Zealand secondary schools rep. Played for the South Island Scorpions 18s last year. And he has been part of the Warriors Academy program based in Christchurch. Great leg drive to get over and score the try there. So Salalilo with the first score. But it was all set up by that fantastic break by Colondale. It was a really exciting break down the centre. And now we have Mahana Pauling with the conversion attempt here. And he'll convert the try. So 6 points to 0 to St. Thomas of Canterbury. Mahana Pauling really come through the system nicely. 16 South Island rep, 2021, 2022. Another of the Christchurch players in the Warriors Academy program. So there are some very good athletes in the St. Thomas of Canterbury. They always come to Auckland, or the National Championships rather, with a very strong team. And looks like 2023 is no exception. So Kelston boys, be disappointed. They got that penalty. Made that error. Which opened the door for St. Thomas. And they'll be very wary of that speed of the Fijian player in the St. Thomas of Canterbury side. Now that's great defence coming in there from Kelston. Sam Tuitupo leading the charge there, the number 11. Harmer Campbell waits at dummy half again. Now Pauling. Has a lot of experience at fullback as well. He's playing in the halves in this game right here. So that's Ezekiel Paulo who's playing the ball there. And now here comes Lennox Tuiloma. He's touched the ball plenty of times in the early part of the game. Now Kakoi, out it goes on this right edge this time. Plenty of space out here for Sheldon Hayward. Saw him make a big impression in the 9s earlier on in the year. And there's going to be a penalty against Kelston. Unfortunately, their halfback, Tuiamalo Vainga, not square at marker. So a full set again here for St. Thomas. About 25 metres out, and Tuiloma takes the first carry. Now it's a good charge into the line too. He's almost down to the 10. See Salalilo waits here, but he's used as a decoy. The other front row, Whangi yet there. Now being driven back. St. Thomas and Canterbury looking strong early in this game. Harmer Campbell, Salalilo. Oh, it's been stolen there by Parsons. And Parsons, they're going to have to come back. The referee, I think, spotted an infringement. It might be more possession coming for St. Thomas of Canterbury. Might have been knocked on there from one of the Kelston players into a St. Thomas of Canterbury player. So what an attacking opportunity here. Kelston are going to have the ball, so they, in fact, are going to hopefully clear out here. Oh, lovely offload. And unfortunately, though, running out of space was Junior Pongi. Well, an unforced error there from Kelston, so they're their own worst enemies at the moment. A couple of errors, and it's been all St. Thomas of Canterbury in these first 8 minutes. So here's Salalilo. Good initial contact made right there from Ren Sato for Kelston. Harmer Campbell has a little dab. That's Tuiloma at dummy half. Nice pass out to Kakoi. And this is good play. And here's Collandale, who goes over to score. The lively player on the wing. And he gets a try. And it's 10-0. And that's very good execution from St Thomas of Canterbury. Excellent play there by Tahuhu Wilson, who linked nicely with his winger. And Maratino Collandale scores the try, and it's out to 10-0 to St Thomas of Canterbury. Oh, they're looking very strong, aren't they? Good athletic forwards and some exciting, elusive outside backs. Mahana Pauling it is with the conversion attempt here. And he converts the try, so very good start here for the Christchurch-based side. They lead 12 points to 0. Next match is coming up. We've got Haiata Community Campus of Christchurch in a girls' clash with Aorere of Auckland. That one's coming up at midday. Then we're going to have Tokoroa against Kaipoi, another girls' game, 1 o'clock. And we're going to conclude our coverage today, Southern Cross Rotorua boys at 2 o'clock. Day 1 of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Championships here from a beautifully sunlit Bruce Pulman Park. A number of fields in action over the next few days as we head towards the conclusion of the championships on Sunday. So Kelston restart play. They've conceded 2 tries in the first quarter of the game. 20-minute halves. Their tackling's been okay. They just haven't just got to cut their error rate out to the West Auckland side. Xavier Leota making the tackle. He's in the headgear there for Kelston. Again, nothing flash from St Thomas. Good rugby league so far in the set. Just moving the ball clear from Whangaiete. Now Pauling breaks. And here's a good surge into the 20 by St Thomas of Canterbury. Jackson Stewart it is with his hands on the ball. Pauling made the break and St Thomas hot on attack again. Out it comes to Zeke Whangaiete. Again, Kelston driven back inside their own 20. And Kakoi, there's the little nudge through, and it's been lost. Picked up, and there's another chance here for St Thomas of Canterbury, but it's been lost forward by Tahuhu Wilson. But I suspect the referee's going to come back and rule that initial knock on. But again, looking dangerous, aren't they, that time? Just bounced a touch awkwardly there for the winger from Kelston. Found it difficult to grab Lasala. So another chance here for St Thomas. Their execution inside the 20's been very strong so far. Let's see if that trend continues. And here's their big centre, Sheldon Hayward. Really impressive player he is, as we see Pauling. Good cut out pass to Stewart, and Stewart's going over to score a third try. Looking good for St Thomas of Canterbury. Hang on. He's ruled it out, the referee. So no try. So he's ruled a knock on in the grounding. So let's see if we can pick that up. Jackson Stewart. There. Looked like he didn't get it down initially, so Kelston got away with that. Now can they strike back? See what they can cook up here. So a couple of good carries. That was Jasmine Laban with that one. And now we have Sione Lasala up near the halfway line for Kelston in possession, down by 12 points to 0. And now here's Leota, Xavier Leota. Good run from him. Excellent post-contact meters made by the lock forward. Away goes Cullen at dummy half. Here's a good charge into the line, this time by Paali'i. And here goes Cullen. And Jeremiah Cullen, good score. Well, Cullen, arguably the most well-known of these players. Jeremiah Cullen, he played in the Dean Bell Cup earlier on in the year. Counties 18's rep from last year. Good hands from him too. Almost lost it, didn't he? But Jeremiah Cullen is going to go over and score the try and narrow the gap back to 8 points. 12-8 with the kick to come under the post. You'd think that the margin will be 6 in just a moment. Jeremiah Cullen, very exciting prospect coming out of Kelston boys. Saw him in action last year for the Counties 18s. They won the national title down on Rotorua. Those are coming up soon too, folks, by the way. Right at the end of the month, the national youth tournaments. So there goes the conversion attempt from Jarrell Tuiamalo Vainga, and it's 12 points to 6. St Thomas leading Kelston. Hope you're enjoying the coverage as we're 5 minutes out from half time. So there's the restart. Nicely gathered. That one could have easily been knocked on at the back there. Good tackle coming in, fished off by Xavier Lynch there for St Thomas. Cullen. Now to Xavier Lynch again, his second carry. Untidy play the ball, but play on as Cullen sneaks away from dummy half. Cullen again. Away goes to dummy half. Sneaking through a couple of defenders. That was a good play from him. Rin Sato waits a dummy half for Kelston. Now out it comes here to Leota. And Leota is an industrious player. Looking for that penalty too. He knows how to play this game. And there goes the kick there from Tuiamalo Vainga. Not a lot of distance on it. Still the last play here for Kelston. Oh, yeah, they'll keep it alive nicely, Cullen. And here comes Pongi. And he'll be taken on the 6th tackle, so it's going to be a changeover. It's going to be St Thomas's ball. Here he goes again. Well, that time he's hit solidly, wasn't he? Now here comes St Thomas. Good tackling. Really solid tackling coming in that time from the centre for Kelston. That's Desmond Laban. Good commitment too coming in again from Tuiamalo Vainga. Great charge into the line here from Toby Gibson, the front rower. Wearing one, but he's certainly not a fullback. He's a big prop. And there goes the kick. Nicely gathered back by Tyson Parsons, but good chase from St Thomas of Canterbury. Parsons doesn't have much space there to return the football. So no errors down this end of the field will be the order of the day for Kelston. Another good tackle coming in there from Tavita for Kelston that time, rather. That was a good charge into the line coming in from Ren Sato. Individual play from Kelston. Really making seriously big metres up the field so far, but looking to create something here is Mbale Naikasakasa. He's right on the halfway line, Cullen. That's a good kick from Tuiamalo Vainga. Bounce is critical, but it's been gathered beautifully there by Tahuhu Wilson. It wasn't easy for the young fullback. Here he goes again. Maratino Kalandau. Good charge into the line from Stewart. St Thomas of Canterbury would love one more score here. Ooh, that touch forward, that pass, no. The referee says play on, and Lennox Tuiloma hit hard. Pauling. And now this is Ezekiel Palu. Harmer Campbell waits a dummy half again. Pauling demanding possession. Hasn't quite timed his kick there. Nicely gathered by Kelston. So they've got a full set with 90 seconds left in this first half, but they are 80 metres out from their own line, and that is a real bummer for Kelston. Sione Lisala dropping the ball there. And now the door's open for St Thomas of Canterbury. Oh, there was nothing wrong with the pass that time. It was right at his breadbasket. Should have gobbled that one up, Lisala. But good positive play from both teams. Good encouraging play. Now St Thomas got 9 to 60 seconds to weave some magic here and get their lead maybe back out to 12 points as we see Jack and Stewart popping up on the right edge this time. Taken by Laban.
15, 18, no. 18,
Harmer Campbell back to Salalilo. Been allowed to really run again. Jason Salalilo. Harmer Campbell. Oh, that gap shut very quickly. That corridor closed big time. Tuiloma at dummy half. Mehana Pauling. Here comes Kakoi. Almost getting through. Harmer Campbell. He's got it. Looks like he scored the try. Harmer Campbell right under the posts. Just the ruck speed too quick there for Kelston. And it's going to be a third try in this first half for St Thomas of Canterbury. Right on half-time. And Noah Harmer Campbell goes over to score it. Backing up from last year's championship where we saw him make the tournament team. So Mehana Pauling got another conversion attempt. 4 players from St Thomas actually made the tournament team. In fact, 3 got in. Naheke Nepatu, who's now moved through to the full Canterbury Premiership team this year for the first time. Oliver Laurie, who's been a very good half for the South Island Scorpions over the last few years. He also made the tournament team, and Noah Harmer Campbell. So there's the conversion going over from Pauling. So 3 converted tries to St Thomas, to Salalilo, Colin Dow, and also to Harmer Campbell has the Christchurch Bay side up by 18 to 6 at half-time over Kelston Boys.
Yeah. Kia ora. Let's get you ready to go out there and have an epic rugby league game. But first things first, let's have a A simple warm-up is a game changer. Not only will it improve your performance, but it will reduce the chances of you getting an injury. And if you want to skip the sore muscles, don't skip the cool down. Now, tackling is a big part of the game, so don't cheat on the technique. A good tackle technique will help keep everyone safe. Collisions happen all the time, so it's important to know how to spot a concussion and what to do if it happens to you or a teammate. Sweet as, have a then go get into it.
At Pertec, we understand that our customer needs their plant and equipment up, running and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Using only world-class product from the likes of Bridgestone and Yokohama, there is no compromise for your valuable machines. Our attention to detail and precision is second to none. It's this customer experience that separates Pertec from the pack. Pertec, we'll keep you operating.
All right, second half underway here between Kelston boys and St Thomas of Canterbury. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on day one of the 2023 National Secondary Schools Championships. You just joined the broadcast at St Thomas in the black. They're up by 18-6 at half time, and Kelston have got an early penalty in the second half. So here's their chance to come down field again. Maybe get this gap back to within 12 points. So a full set coming here for Kelston inside St Thomas's half. Junior Pongi. And now Tuiamalo Vainga gets things underway again. And then Sato has had a really good game for Kelston boys. Takes the first carry. Cullen. And now into the action. Goes Mbalai. Nai Kasa. And Cullen. Going to use Sato once again. Big body. Up towards the 10-metre line he goes. Cullen. Sniping from dummy half. Already got one try. Kelston back on the inside. The ball is lost by Joshua Pasina. Disappointing there off Sam Toko. Toko taking the line on there, and unfortunately, Pasina. So this error rate continues to bother Kelston. Gee, if they could just tidy this up, you can see they've got some athletes in their team, and they've got some weapons to really threaten any side here. St Thomas of Canterbury looking to come forward again through Hayward. Good tackle this time by Kelston's Joshua Pasina, looking to make up for that lost ball. That we saw him do just a moment ago. And now Gibson hitting the line nice and hard. Good solid tackle coming in that time from Xavier Liota. Campbell, this is Pauling rather, right on the halfway line now. He's going to take the tackle this time, Mahana Pauling. Looks like a little knock on there against Pauling at that play the ball. In fact, it might have been the end of the set there according to the referee, so it's just a changeover. Maybe they're miscounting the tackle count there.
On field number 4 at this moment
for St Thomas, so another chance for Kelston to move downfield. Pasina again proving hard to tackle. He's lost it. Is the referee going to rule that? He's going to rule it a loose carry.
Second half, first round for the boys' Premiership.
Oh, that was a little unlucky perhaps, as you saw there, Sheldon Hayward.
Field number 2 at the moment.
Just looking for that a little bit more aggression on that tackle, and it paid off too. Forced the error out of Joshua Pasina.
Tauranga Boys versus Papatoetoe High School.
Balls out.
Bill Kakoi was playing in the scrum, and here comes Jackson Stewart, offloads nicely, and there's a chance on this left edge for Wolfgram. The Lopeti Wolfgram it is. Good little breakout from the scrum, wasn't it, from St Thomas of Canterbury. Good passing to Salalilo. Getting those legs pumping. He got that first try in the first half. Harmer Campbell, look at that ruck speed. Away goes Noah Harmer Campbell. Kelston have got to slow those play the balls down. Get their defensive line time to get sorted. St Thomas of Canterbury come forward through Tino Leuta. He's into the 10. Harmer Campbell. Now that was Kakoi. And Hayward is going to go over and score the try. Sheldon Hayward. Saw him make a big impact at the District 9s here earlier on in the year, Sheldon Hayward. And he goes over to score and lengthen that lead out to 16 now. Good score for Sheldon Hayward, Linwood Kia's player. He won the national championship in the District 9s last year in the 16s, moved through to the 18s now, and he's signed with the Bulldogs as well. Highly rated prospect. South Island Scorpions rep last year. And now playing for his school here in the national championships. Sheldon Hayward, very impressive player. We saw earlier on in the year on this ground. Now, here's Pauling with his conversion attempt. Easily the toughest of the match so far for him. And it's going to stay 22 points to 6. But still a good lead here for St Thomas of Canterbury against the Kelston boys of West Auckland. 20-minute halves, so 13 minutes left for Kelston boys to do something. Still time for them. We've got another game coming up at midday today here on our coverage. And it's Hayata Community Campus of Christchurch up against Aorere in a boys match. And then at 1 p.m, Tokoroa High School against Kaiapoi in a girls match. Going to have that one for you. 2 o'clock. Southern Cross, semi-finalists last year, up against the Rotorua boys. Always come here with a very interesting team to the Nationals. So we'll see those two teams in action at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Each team playing twice on day one of the championships today.
Come you run, guys. Hold. Just hold. Thank you.
So Kelston restart play. Out on the full. And again, the errors are just keeping the handbrake on their quest to win this game.
Out on the full, guys.
They can just get those errors sorted out. I touched on earlier, you feel like they're going to be in most games. So again, more opportunities here for St Thomas of Canterbury to control the game, manage it. Good lead, and the error rate has been a lot lower in this game. That is for sure. Salalilo for St Thomas of Canterbury. Now here comes in Hakore Pepese. Harmer Campbell again at dummy half. Salalilo with another carry. Lost it sideways though, so picked up nicely again, and Harmer Campbell out to Pauling. There's a chance here for Neil to run at the defence, the number 18 for St Thomas of Canterbury. Harmer Campbell. Back on the inside comes Jason Salalilo. Good play from him. Big chance for Neil, and over he goes to score. All set up again by Jason Salalilo. He's having a really good game. And St Thomas of Canterbury scored their second try of the second half, and it's gone to Bishop Neil, who's come off the bench. Looks like they've got some depth off the bench too. All the players coming on have looked very useful. And they look a well-drilled, well-coached, and they're going to be an interesting team to watch at this year's championships. Of course, St Thomas of Canterbury have been there or thereabouts most years in recent times of the boys' Premiership. And the way things are going, it looks like they're going to be a team to watch. So Pauling, with 3 goals from 4 attempts so far. She's connected that one much better, but doesn't have the direction. So the score remained 26 points to 6. What a beautiful day for rugby league, isn't it? Had a couple of, third cracking day here in Auckland this week. Just a gentle breeze, lovely warm conditions. Temperatures are expected to get up around about 17, 18 degrees today. It's really quite pleasant. This time, that is going to work out okay for Kelston boys. The last one was a kick out on the full, so an error this time from St Thomas of Canterbury. Kelston got to score next, really have any chance in this game. And going to set it up as Paiali'i, Joseph Paiali'i. 5 metres out, here's Jeremiah Cullen. Out it comes to Leota. Again, the defence is very vigorous, but Leota can't quite get there. Cullen. Parsons tips it on. Nice hands from Tuiamalo Vainga. Tuiamalo Vainga playing the ball. Desperate to get it is Keith, who's at dummy half. Paiali'i again. Doesn't find any space that time. Cullen keeps it on the short side. Good little short ball to Tuiamalo Vainga. But again, the defence holds on. This is the last play now. Isle Keith at dummy half. There goes the kick across field from Luau, and he's overcooked it, so it's going to be back to the 20. And St Thomas of Canterbury, very good defence on their own line there, holding out Kelston boys. And the kick was right, but yes, you could see the execution was not quite there from Paulo Luau, and he was disappointed, visibly disappointed. Now, Jackson Stewart's had a good game, hasn't he? He's really run with good purpose. Every time he's touched the ball, the number 4 for St Thomas. Just under 8 to play. Inside the 40 goes the kick. 40-20 attempt coming up, but back to salvage it there for Kelston. It's Junior Pongi. And Pongi's going to earn his team a penalty there. Sheldon Hayward it was, conceding that one on Pongi. Yeah, Sheldon Hayward, a touched on, highly rated prospect. Signed with the Bulldogs. Of course, the Canterbury Rugby League not long ago signed a deal with Canterbury, or an agreement with the Canterbury Bulldogs in Sydney. Plenty of rugby league coming up domestically over the next month now. Not only, as touched on earlier, the youth tournaments coming up at the end of the month in Taupo and Rotorua respectively. But tomorrow we've got the start of the NZRL Premiership, both men's and women's for 2023. Looking forward to bringing you all of those games on Sky Sport right through the month. Here's Cullen. What can they cook up? They've scored just the one try in the first half. Cullen was the try scorer. That tackle just drifting a touch high. Not too much in it, though. Little tut. Finishing off that tackle. So Kelston get a full set inside the 30. So they've got to basically score 4 times in the next 6 minutes. It's going to be tough for them, that is for sure. And now here's Peter Kingeke. Jeremiah Cullen waits at dummy half. And now here comes Paiali'i. Down to the 10. Cullen waits again. Here's Leota. He's carried the ball a lot. But to be fair, the St Thomas defence has handled him pretty well all through the game. Well, it's straight go at the line this time from Luau. Big number 6. He's not going to crash over. Cullen, big gap there. Jeremiah Cullen, but it closed quickly. Good work from Jackson Stewart to shut that avenue off. Let's see if this kick can find the mark this time. It's been knocked on there initially by Kalandau, and that is going to be another set coming up for Kelston, provided they get the ball out of the scrum okay. So the first knock on coming forward here off Kalandau, just overcooking it, wasn't he? Tua Amalo Vainga. It's going to be Sam Torko to feed the scrum.
Last man, get in. Last man, get in. Thank you. Square. Oh!
So Torko it is. See if they can execute here through Tyson Parsons. Yeah, an obstruction there. Unfortunately, just got a little bit messy there for Kelston. Again, their execution just letting them down a touch.
The players, not only are they representing their schools,
just those little 1%ers. Just been the difference between these two teams, really, in this game.
We will take on the New Zealand club team Labour weekend Monday.
So St Thomas have not conceded a try in the second half. Pretty decent effort from them. They might be hungry for one more yet. Yeah, referee called held there before the offload was able to get away from Neil, of course. He was the try scorer of the last try.
We turn our attention to one of the most exciting brands of rugby league. It's the Portugal. It's the girls' grade. Defending champions Auckland. Defending champions Manurewa High School. They're here to defend the title.
So here comes St Thomas again. Good run coming in from Pepese. Over the halfway line he goes.
Getting ready for the first round of the Portugal section.
Going to play some football near the end of this game. Tahuhu Wilson. Good footwork by the diminutive fullback. Couldn't break through this time. Ashton Clark on in the blue headgear now for St Thomas of Canterbury. And in goes Zeke Whangaiete again. The two very good front rows, haven't they? Whangaiete and Salalilo both playing for Canterbury at the District 9s earlier on in the year. Oh, that's worked out beautifully for Wilson Tahuhu. Tackle count restarts. And Clark, short little ball to Harmer Campbell. Harmer Campbell's got the line right there. Taken by his opposite number. Oh, Clark just picking it up in time. Pauling down to the line. He's just a metre out. This would absolutely seal it if it hadn't already. And here's Zeke Whangaiete. Clark again. There's the kick on, nicely picked up. And that was good play. The kick came through from Kakoi, but in the end it was beautifully read by Kelston. So they did well not to concede that try there as Sam Toko looks to get metres upfield for his team. There's another good run by Jarrell Tua Amalo Vainga. And Eliota. Cullen at dummy half. And here comes Joseph Paiali'i. Inside the last minute. He's inside his 40 was Luau. Gonna drive Tahuhu Wilson all the way back. That was a good kick in the end. And a good chase too by the man who put the kick on. So very good work there. That was one of Kelston's better sets in the game. He is so hard to tackle, isn't he? Maratino Kalandau really threatens again. Exciting athlete, isn't he? Laban with a big tackle there for Kelston. So it looks like this will be the last play. In fact, the referee, I think, is going to call the game right there. So there it is. Good start for St Thomas of Canterbury. They have beaten Kelston in their first game of the 2023 National Secondary Schools Championships. Pool play in this division is all good in Pool A for St Thomas. They win by 26 points to 6. 5 tries to 1 it was. Salalilo, Colindale, Harmer Campbell, Hayward and Bishop Neal got the tries for St Thomas. Good goal kicking day too for Pauling, who got 3 goals. In Kelston's try, Jeremiah Cullen with the conversion by Tua Amalo Vainga. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for our next game, which is another boys match between Hayata and Aorere. That'll be in the boys championship. Stay with us here from day 1 of the 2023 National Secondary Schools Champs.